This week's Four Questions Journalist Spotlight is brought to you by Leff's Atlanta Media, Atlanta's best journalist database. Subscribe at leffsatlantamedia.com.
Welcome to another edition of our Four Questions Journalist Spotlight. Got a great, awesome guest today. He and I have known each other for a long time, and I'm glad to be able to have a little conversation. Tigner Rand is with Rolling Out Magazine. Good morning, Tigner.
How you doing this morning, Mitch?
I'm great. Well, I want to talk about Rolling Out, and I want to kind of, because I think it's something that a lot of people have seen, but maybe people don't quite understand. There's more to it than just the magazine you pick up. But first, kind of give me a little background about you. What's your journalist background, and how'd you get to this place?
Wow.
And remember, I only have 20 minutes.
Exactly. That's why how can I capsulize all this real quick? It pretty much started with Rolling Out has been around. I'm going to try to marry the two together so we can keep it.
Okay, that'll work.
Rolling Out, the brand has been around for 21 years. And it started out as you stated, as a publication. Everyone knows it as a newsprint publication. Prior to that, over the years, I've always had the passion for writing, short stories. Growing up, I always wanted to review music, tried to get into all the magazines and, reviews. But then my first break came with Rolling Out. Munson Steve, the publisher, he is the CEO, but he also happened to be my roommate in college. And he knew my passion for music. I used to be a DJ. It's kind of sad. I was a DJ more for fun than to understood the whole nuance of how do you look at it now in 2021. I mean, it's a business.
Right.
I could have really, parlayed that into something different. So between the music and the love of music and the writing, I was frustrated. And Munson told me, you can write anything you want. You can write to my publication. I'm the CEO. So if you want to put it in, just write it. So that was kind of the beginning of kind of playing around with writing, doing music reviews. And if they're kind of spawned in from going from writing to going into sales. But a little bit about the publication and with that is that with the brand of Rolling Out by being as a print publication, it has been able to evolve over these 21 years. So here we are in 2021. People still call it Rolling Out Magazine or Urban Style Weekly, but really we try to brand it just by Rolling Out the brand because it's a holistic 360 media company. There's nothing that we can't do from content creation for clients to streaming, to events, experientials. We do it all, custom publications, custom events. There's not too much you can't do through Rolling Out. And here we are now in 2021 and still able to sustain even during this pandemic.
So how would you define the content and the focus of the magazine if you had to define it in 20 words or less?
Wow. So let's try to do it in 20 words. It started out pretty much as a way of paying homage to the music industry. So if you can close your eyes and remember back in 1999, 98, 99, 2000, that was kind of the dawn of hip hop in Atlanta. So you had your Outkast, you had people like Usher, you had Ludacris. At that time, he was Chris Lover over at 107.9. They were not getting the true love because they were still Atlanta versus the nation. So Rolling Out took them and you can put them on the cover. And you will find, if you look at even today on the website at rollingout.com, you will find entertainers that's always graced the covers, but the content, the real drive of the publication is how do we edify business? The four core pillars of Rolling Out is business, health, education, technology. So you're going to find those four cores, and then from there it can trickle down in different branches. But that is really the meat of it, is how do we edify and bring awareness to our community about those four things: business, health, technology, education.
And when you say your community, kind of
that's the holistic. When I say this, we're talking community. Though I would say our readership is about 95% Black, but I mean it transcends It is truly a diverse publication. We in 2018 we actually set foot into Minneapolis. That made our 20th home state. So basically, though Rolling Out was created to have a national appeal to it, it was really localized. It started out in 5 markets, and as of today, you're in 20 major markets. Those markets are pretty much your larger major markets from all the way from New York City to LA, your A, B, C market. So Minneapolis became the last market that we've added where you will find a print publication that's available, which can be localized. So you'll have a national on the front, but the content inside can be localized if needed to focus on that community.
Right, and that's what I wanted to talk about that a little bit too, because you definitely have. I mean, you look at who you have on the covers usually, and it's not Atlanta, even though you're in Atlanta. It's not an Atlanta publication; it's a national publication. So that's great that you kind of clarified. That okay, you've got the kind of the donut, you've got the national stuff, and you've got the local folks. So do you have people in each of those markets who are finding those local stories?
Well, to the point, we do have an office in Chicago, have a office in Detroit, physical bodies, and also we have bodies in LA. Minneapolis was that next market. We actually had an office there, and that's a kind of a unique nut to crack. As much as Minneapolis really professed to be a diverse city, the world witnessed that it really still has a lot to do to grow. It's over 50 major Fortune 500 companies call Minneapolis home. We're talking Fortune 500 corporations. That is their home headquarters in Minneapolis, but they're still struggling trying to, really show what diversity really is. And that became the hardest nut to crack. So now we've had a re-entry because of what happened with George Floyd has allowed us to come back. Okay, how do we revisit this? And how do we get a seat at the table to be able to talk with these corporations, because we still see the disparities when it comes to business. It's not intentional. But that's the way that, some things are hard to turn. You can't turn a big ship in a pond. We saw that with the Suez Canal. You see how hard it was to fix that. That's the analogy that you have to look at when it comes to getting a seat at the table. You can't turn a big ship in a small space quickly.
Yeah, and you guys are certainly telling a lot of great stories. I get the daily email, so I see every day what's cooking, and then sometimes I'm not out and about as much as I used to. But when I find the print edition, right. I have one here in the office somewhere. So if someone here in Atlanta had a great local story, how would they go about pitching that to you, and who's the best person for that?
Well, a lot of ways. We're inundated. Emails come in every day from publicists. And I talk to publicists all the time that hey, you want your client here. I got it. I understand. We all understand how the processes work. You want your client to be seen. That's how you get paid. Let's figure out a way I can get you the write-up. Let's figure out how do we take this and turn it into everything I mentioned aforementioned to you.
Right.
How do we create an event? How do we turn this into an influential opportunity for a client? Since COVID, we were able to pivot 180, and we do quite a bit virtually. So every morning we have a show called AM Wake Up Call from 8 to 10. So it's your morning edition. We bring on guests. So this is kind of answering the question. You have an artist, you have a business owner, you have that has been from local to national who've come on the show, spend 10, 15 minutes talking about their brand. And from there, we also have another program called A Seat at the Table, where that's typically designed for your businesses. Anything from CEOs down to brand managers. How do we have conversation with businesses to get the money? How do we measure with KPIs? We talk about that whole business aspect. Munson Steve, the publisher, he has a program that he does that they pre-record called CEO to CEO. So that's an opportunity to bring in from small business owners locally up to corporations, just to have that CEO to CEO conversation. And what kicked it all off was COVID. When COVID came, we started Health IQ every Tuesday, where we talk about health. At first, it was about COVID. And from there, like, let's talk about all the disparities that impact the Black community and communities of color, hypertension, obesity, how to take care of your elderly, parents. How has COVID impacted us? Now the mission is, how do we talk about this vaccine? Because so many people are afraid to take it, especially in the Black community.
So now I don't want to inundate you with 50 million people saying, "Hey, I saw your thing with Mitch. And I got this right." So hey, let's send that to other people too if you want. So you're not getting it.
The best email to send it to is promotions promotions@rollingout.com, and then it'll get funneled down to the right.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So do you have some stories that you're looking at now? Because I feel like within the entertainment side, at least, we're starting to come out the other side. The sound stages are opening up. The concerts are kind of, sort of starting to come back.
Yeah. To be honest, the best thing that will be a win, and that's for any publication, TV or print or whatever. What's the next hot whatever that is? Who can be in front of the next? TMZ seems to be the best one, even though it's almost that quasi, inquirer. People want to know, but they seem to always get that breaking news thing. You want to have that breaking story, whatever that is. We get those every once in a while, but I really prefer looking for those feel-good stories that people want to see. We got enough trash that we see on the news or on other shows, dealing with gossip. But what's really moving the needle that makes people feel good and happy? I guess the next thing what we have done is started a go-to-market website, blackbookstore.com, which that is our way that we've been able to get independent authors on. And so those are the little things that we do. So to kind of answer the question, it's a bunch of little things that we're doing to kind of keep the amplification going. For an example, every month we do events. Last month we did women. It was Sisters with Superpowers. February was Best of a Generation for Black History Month. We did our leadership conference in January, which that was all tied in for MLK. So this month in April, it'll be Culture Creators for a Poetry Month. That's Culture Creators. So all the creative content from artists to writers to authors. In a month, that'll be a whole culture class that we'll be working with, bringing people into a conference where they can come and learn from and glean from some of these, professionals and how to get into the business.
Man, you guys got a lot going on.
Oh my God, Mitch.
that explains what we were saying earlier about weekend. What's a weekend?
Right. So the weekend, I literally try to shut myself. I really, literally try to shut everything out because I know Monday through Friday is going to be something, and the days pretty much start at 6 to whenever.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I mean, my days don't quite start at 6 usually, but very often I'll get a call from a reporter at 5 o'clock and say, "Hey, I'm the Nightside guy. I need a story for the 11 o'clock news tonight. What do you got? You got an expert for me? You got a source?" And we'll always find him somebody. But I tend to expect that, especially on Friday afternoons.
Right. It's expect the unexpected.
Yeah. All right. So tell me something fun and cool about you that people might not know about.
Wow. There's a lot of things. I'm a Pisces, and Pisces are pretty much real quiet people, don't say much, but I know a lot of stuff.
I don't think you're a Pisces. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, that's 100. I mean, I know when to turn it on and when to be quiet. But those who know you, like, is that the same guy? Because I can be the quietest person in the room, won't open my mouth. Is he shy guy? I did mention to you about the DJ. A lot of people did not know that I DJ. The other thing is I'm an artist. I have to give homage to my brother Munson. For the last 15 years, he's been trying to get me back painting. I haven't painted in over 20 years. So I started. The pandemic was my pivot point.
Yeah.
I started painting again. So that's a lot of people don't know that.
So what you've got behind you, is that one of
This is
your
one of my
pieces?
pieces behind me there. This is one of my most recent ones. This is the most current one I've done. I got about 6 of them in progress, but this is the main one I got right now.
Lean this way a little bit for me so I can see. Ah, there we go. That's very nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's it's 13 shots. That kind of depicts the 13 people who have been televised, the revolution that was televised for those who were killed over the last few years. However way you want to paint that picture,
Yeah.
we saw their deaths, but nonetheless, that is the America that we live in.
All right, so now the lightning round a little bit. So
yeah,
you were saying earlier that you're reading some audiobooks, but what's the last book that you've either read or listened to?
The last book that I read was called Yellow Dog by Walter Mosley. So I'm actually back into his whole series of Easy Rollins. So I'm on book number 6 now. I just started at Gone Fishing just the other day. So
Okay.
my goal is I'm going to finish his. He just came out with book number 15 out of this whole series since 1999. And now most people know the series from Devil in the Blue Dress.
Okay.
That was the movie that came out with Denzel Washington. I never read the book. I saw the movie. Like, I don't think I want to watch it. But I had read other books out of that series, just audio. But since COVID, I went back to read the book. The book is way better than the movie.
Yeah, they usually are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So favorite Atlanta restaurant?
Oh gosh.
Is there? Yeah. Where do you like to get when you're just like, man, I need this?
If I need this, I hate to say this, it's real cheesy. I have to go get. There's one place. It's called Grand Central Pizza, over in East Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the one place I say if I gotta get, I have to go there to get the pizza. There's a lot of great pizza places, but I go to that one. I
have not tried that one. I'll have to check that out. I sometimes will default to Fat Matt's Rib Shack for
Fat Matt, so I don't go to no barbecue place nowhere. I will be cooking ribs this weekend.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I used to. Fat Matt's used to be on my way home when I worked downtown.
Right.
Which was dangerous, right? Because you can call from the office as you're leaving them. As you're passing, your ribs are ready. So
exactly. Yeah. Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that they don't, barbecue come out during Memorial Day. I barbecue 365 days a year. First time. This will be the third time this year I've already the grill has been smoked up. I have to go get some more wood this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite, and this maybe answer your next question. Favorite guilty pleasure.
Oh, wow. Guilty pleasure, it would have to be music.
Okay.
Just listening to music. That's always the first go-to guilty pleasure.
I'm going to add in another question. Who's your favorite artist? Do you have somebody you love?
I got a lot of them, but the first one that comes to mind always, and if I can get real serious with you on that based on genre, but my favorite is Miles Davis.
Yep, that's a good one. Okay. Favorite local getaway?
Honestly, I don't have one. If I have to do anything, I'd be probably going to the park.
Okay, that's good. Parks are great. Yeah. Now, I just found a place in Decatur. It's called Legacy Park that a friend of mine.
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old United Methodist Children's home there. Yeah.
Yes.
This friend of mine's been talking about it for months, and I finally got my butt out there last weekend. Of course, it was raining, but it's like this is nice. There's lakes and birds and trails. I like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, favorite non-work hobby.
I have to say the reincarnation of painting. I mean, because that has become my Saturday. I wake up early every Saturday morning at 5 and Sunday, and try to get in at least 2 to 3 hours. So that's it.
That's great. Anything we haven't talked about rolling out? What you got? I think we got a good brush of what. Brush. See what I did there?
Hey, I heard you.
Brush is painting and ribs, right?
I heard you. You
got to use a different brush. You can't use the same brush for both, but that would be bad.
All right, Mitch.
Anything else? Yeah, I think we kind of hit it. I appreciate it. So, I forgot to ask. So, what is your official title there with Rolling Out?
My official title is brand strategist, and as a brand strategist, it's really just a kind of play on words. It's simply nothing but sales. But ultimately the brand is how do we, strategize with clients to do more? How do we amplify the client? And sometimes when talking with clients, that's the hardest thing to do because they're, the paradigm shift. They only see you as being, okay, you're a publication. I just want to put some ads in. That's all I want to do. But it's bigger than that, Mitch. How do we take this to the next level? So give me the money, but let's amplify it so that it becomes a full 360 campaign. Right now, I would say 75% of the people get that. And that's once they see it, they get it. Because with the tunnel vision, because businesses, they're so set on doing things the way it's always been done. Even in publicity, as a publicist, same way. This is what I'm supposed to do. But how do we bend the curve a little bit so everybody can see a full value of it?
Well, yeah, and I think there's so many publications nowadays that have a podcast associated with them, or they have a video component connected to their digital presence, and you get some publicists who are I'm just going to give you my guy for the interview.
That's it.
I'm going to see it in print. He doesn't want to podcasting. I don't get that because sometimes it's hard to measure, right? So the client says, how many people watch this podcast? And
exactly.
You can't always tell.
Right.
But I can tell, sometimes you can see like how many people listen to it, that kind of thing, and downloads. But, you can tell whether a podcast is hitting an audience that's influential and is going to help your client, and when it's just somebody who's doing a podcast and not really reaching anybody, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, you get it. You just hit the nail on the head. And that's exactly what it is. It's almost like an added value. So, or we can bundle this all together. Give me a price. Tell me what the budget is, and we can figure out how to measure and put all the pieces together, the puzzle. So at the end of the day, Mitch and the client sees everything, and the client is happy, you happy, and it becomes a win versus here's the one thing I asked for, but I just got you 10 more things for this.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Tigner. We've been talking with Tigner Rand with Rolling Out. I'm not going to say Rolling Out Magazine because there's so much more. It's just Rolling Out. And we're going to roll out. And with that, we're going to roll out today. Thank you, Tigner. We're going to appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Mitch.
And everyone tune in next week for another edition of our 4 Questions Journalist Spotlight.